All right, separate traders, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Tuesday, July 12th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, shortly after we just finished up our Traders Talk workshop. Great to see all of us live inside the separate group room. Leda, Scott, and Kurt rejoining us right now. Great to see Karen and John and Milton and all of us live inside the trading room, like I just said. Great to see all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube. So let's hop right into it, folks. Market dropping off, stumbling here heading into the close. So could be a decent day to try and find some shorts, right? We'll check out the side list stocks coming up at the end. But for right now, we'll start with the stock on the screen, the BHAT trade. This is a familiar name, right? So if I zoom in on the daily chart right away, quick little tip, any stock that trades like 100 plus million shares makes a really big pop. This could be easy to say, but we were on top of it. And that's like my quick little cheat code right there. But I remember this move BHAT ended up breaking over $1 early in pre-market that morning, and then it only kept giving us, right? So it pushed all the way up that day up towards 350. And then over time, it's been shaking around. So we haven't called this stock out every day over the last 2 weeks, on and off. But certainly today, it ended up making a great squeeze for us heading into the mid to late morning. And then since, it's just been running up very nicely. So right now, BHAT, 30% gainer. We're going to put this on our watch list to begin. But one thing here, I want to see if it's even showing on level 3 still. That order still may be there, but maybe it's not just showing from the matrix. But there was a very big very big iceberg order on this stock earlier this afternoon. Rich had called it out pretty nicely right off of 370, I think it was, Rich. Let's double check here on my book map on my level 4 right now, which I'll even bring up briefly here just to show. But we had a really large resistance right off of 380, not 370. So let me bring this up here very briefly. The iceberg order is still there at 380, a 73,000 plus share order currently sitting there. So that should be our major resistance, our major top. And it already has started to become one where, it didn't peak all the way up to 380 and test the iceberg. But generally speaking, for as much as it ran up, it held under 380, 375 here as well. Heading into the close, you would really need to see support build above 350 and then from there to see if it can make the actual test of resistance. So definitely right now, hey, we'll put BHAT on our list to begin. Definitely it's a great idea to do so. All right. So let's go from top to bottom here. No class this afternoon. I could take a little time. So any of the other big movers like GOEV, the HSTO is a little bit of a bust, but that actually provided a decent trade as well. So let's go from top to bottom and we'll recap any of the big moves that we ended up trading. The RHE to start things off. SMED is a buyout, just so you know. So RHE, I mean, hey, I personally did not get my hands on this one. Really, we first started calling it out heading into 1 o'clock when it broke new high of the day over 4. Just a lot more volume getting filled and traded beginning at that point. So really, that's when we had our eyes first on it here. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we had called this out at 280. But ended up making a nice squeeze off of 4, led to a perfect run up towards 550, even above that. And given right now, it's still relatively active and volatile. A couple of orders on the bid right now. I see at 460 and 465 to generate some potential support. We would really need to see this break over the VWAP, hold that as a higher low, support. But if anything, we just got to make sure this really breaks over the VWAP here soon. So REG I'll put on our list as well for right now. GOEV, not so much. Not so much this GOEV, at least for this afternoon. Nice run from pre-market. Then after the open, although it had pulled back and dropped off quite a bit after the open, it led to a small little bounce, not the best, not the biggest, but off of pre-market past resistance. This tried to sneak back over 420, and right where my cursor is, this could have been a nice entry to take once it breaks back through this level on the way up. But unfortunately, it didn't give us what we would want out of the trade for it to really run up higher, approach the pre-market highs at that point, perhaps even. Obviously, really weakened from there, came back down. So, just goes to show you can't buy the news and hang on to it all day, right? You can buy the news, but we're not buying the news here. If a stock pops because of news, all the more better. But we're buying a stock based off of the big money. We're following the big money. So with that, once you realize that that there's not as much buying momentum to push it up, what's going to happen once support gets broken? GLSI, I don't know where this stands right now. This had popped up pretty sharply after the open. Got halted once, it reopened. Actually, I don't know if it got halted a second time, a down halt, but man, this thing sure tanked. Ended up reopening off the halt, popped up to 14 and change, and then right back down it went. So, right now there's nothing interesting about this trade here. You just don't want to get stuck holding on to a big bag. So when the volume dies off, we know what happens, right? RYTM. Don't mind if I do. Right away, I'll put this on our list. Nice stock at the highs. Liquidity is relatively thin, but it's a decent spread for right now. So, hey, this seems like it just broke above resistance off of 6. And to tell you the truth about that, there's more volume filled at 593, and there's also more volume filled at 610 compared to 6. So that doesn't really mean that 6 is as big of a level as we'd assume it to be at first. So if this does pull back down, I would really want to make sure a 6 could become that strong level and act as a support. So I'll put this on our list here, but if it breaks right under 6 and slams under it and holds under it, not good. So I would write it off should that happen, but for right now, we'll see if 6 can be a good support level. ADIL. We've traded this one in the past, not too recently, but a little move up heading into the mid-afternoon here, topped off at 169, and right now it's kind of there, right? It's near the highs, but I want to see if there's anything looking a lot more lively at this point, something that can pique our interest a bit here, right? SSY, not so much. INDO, definitely not. This was a dud after the open. High hopes for it, but again, same to be said here as I just said before on the GOEV trade. All right, HSTO, same thing here. Off of 4, this is actually a really nice trade after the market opened up. It dropped off and bottomed out right from 4, broke under and over from 4 on a couple of occasions. I made like a dinky profit here at first. I wanted the real run at first. So when I pulled back, I ended up getting like 4 or 5 cents. I think 4 cents on it, like not much. But then it broke under 4. At that point, I thought it was going to tank, to be honest with you. Well, very quickly, once it broke back over 4, I realized the move that was going to happen. So, if it's not going to make a big move down and crash, at least at the time, there's only one other way the stock's going to go. So I ended up jumping back in this right over 4, ran it up towards 447, left some money on the table. But again, this stock, this thing ended up making the move off of 4. But you got to see higher lows. You got to begin to see higher lows begin to squeeze this up. Give me a quick sec for all of us live inside the trading room. I forgot to do one brief thing. My apologies. I thought I had my platform sharing for all of us inside the room. My apologies there. Give me a quick second, and credit to Leda who had just chatted me. Give me a quick sec. No screen for right now. We'll get that up in just a couple seconds there. Thank you ever so much, Leda. I was not looking at the chat board as I was doing that. Alrighty, there we go. We did not miss too much because BHAT is already on our list. I think that you folks saw enough of that already. The RHE stock is on our watch list, and then RYTM. So 3 stocks I put on our list so far: BHAT, RHE, and RYTM. That's where we're at right now. All right. Thank you, Leda. All righty. So for right now, HSTO, nice trade from the morning. Not a whole lot happening now. We'll pass on this. All right. Let's keep it going, folks. Fausto's and Bill Ackman's Herbalife. I'm joking with that. But Fausto was calling this out right away when the market opened up. Led to a really strong push at first. It's at the highs, right? So for right now, hey, let's see if this can make a small push up higher. My only gripe on it is that I wish it was trading a lot more volume per minute. It's only trading about like 3 or 4,000 shares a minute. Could see a lot better, to be honest. So I'm going to keep this on the side for right now. If it ends up making one more pop, showing more buying, then I'll slip it on our list there. ALDX, how about this? More of a stock that we had on the pre-market watch list, not as much on the morning list heading into the opening bell. Well, it was dumping off after 8 o'clock. It was a dud. It really didn't provide a whole lot for us initially. But after the open, a little bit after heading into 10:30 time, man, this thing ended up making a nice bounce and recovery. So this is a lot closer to the highs. Same to be said here, though, as I just said before in HLF, it's not really trading a lot of volume per minute, and this book is even more liquid compared to the HLF trades. So, that means it's going to require a lot more to break through all of that volume on the ask side. ATRA, I called this out before the meeting started, just saying, hey, it's at the highs. That's all. And with that, it's still at the highs. So we're going to put this on our list at this point. This one not trading a lot of volume per minute either. A little bit more than the other two, I reckon. But, just more for the fact that this is at the highs here. It's just well within our price range. Good liquidity on the book. We'll see if this can make the run up higher, the squeeze up higher. FREQ, another stock that had popped earlier. I thought this would have a lot more life to it heading into this meeting, but obviously not the case here. So we're going to pass on this one. Got a lot that's up, folks. I mean, the markets are dropping off, but we got a lot that's on the gainer side here still. TXMD. I would assume that's a buyout looking at the daily chart, just the fact that this had gapped up and then stalled out right around like 10 or 996 for a long while. I don't know what led to the drop off yesterday of all days, but really strong recovery here and a beautiful trend to back it up too off the lows. I'll put this on our watch list. Just I don't like the spread, and that's for sure. So this is not your level one stock, not level one or level two for that matter. I'd probably give it more of a 3, maybe even 4, should we happen to see more volume getting filled on this stock. All right, we got the airlines moving from this morning. Jets airline ETF was running up really nicely today. So American Airlines, United, Delta, I mean, pretty much all of them except for Save were really making this type of move here. So nice pop from the morning. Not really a whole lot happening right now, unless if we get like a crazy bounce within the market heading into the close, which I mean, hey, you be the judge of that. It doesn't look like we're going to be getting a bounce by the look of this trend off the highs on the SPY. I wouldn't expect American Airlines to bounce unless if the markets make a tremendous bounce from that point. So, hey, this will be on our side list for tomorrow and for the remainder of this week, the airlines in particular. But for this afternoon, not so much. All right, this got this tease of a stock, IINN. Oh no, you got to be kidding me, right? This thing ended up popping for us like 3 out of the last 4 pre-markets in a row. This was unbelievable. Yesterday morning when I did the meeting, we very reluctantly put it on our watch list because 2 previous times from last week, this made the same pop in pre-market, the same dump off. It's insanity. That is literally the definition of insanity. For right now, at least, obviously very slow moving, but it's at the highs. We've been waiting and waiting for this IINN to make a regular session run. That's why yesterday I still put it on our watch list because although it dumped off, in pre-market and dumped off the last 2 times it did that, you're looking for that regular hours run. And I didn't follow this stock today up until right now. So with where this stands currently, it's as good of a chance as any now than ever. So IINN, I'll put on our main list. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 5 to 6 times over, shame on me, right? But the way this looks, it looks really nice here. Good spread, good liquidity. It's at the highs. We'll see if this can make the big pop that we wanted from earlier this week or last week. Let's go across the losers list now. SPY is still dropping off a little bit here. I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot that's like down, that's like a name brand stock. Got a whole bunch here that's hard to borrow to top off the loser side. UCO crude oil ETF. We're not going to really trade the ETFs as much today. Geez, folks, I don't mean to sound lazy here. I'm not lazy with saying this, but aside from E2 here is down 13+%, $6.50 stock, trading 5.4 million shares. This chart looks like crap, though. There's not much else that is down big that looks like actually good. I will check out FRSH from earlier. Nice short, but very flat here. All right, so folks, I'm going to need a little help if there's anything else up, down, left, right, more than 5%, and certainly all of us inside the trading room have the right screen here. Let me know if there's anything that's moving on your end, and I'll definitely check it out. CYH, blah, not a whole lot happening there. All right, we'll check out YouTube briefly. I don't have any other chats from the trading room. Yeah, Patrick there, loud and clear from him on YouTube, but no stocks to call out. Let me check out Benzinga Pro here briefly just before we wrap up. And that's all right. I mean, hey, if we ran through the market, percent gainers, percent losers, I'll take that, right? So for right now, I'd say, and let me just get my volume setting filtered. Let's see what we could do here. SVRE, nope. This is up 26%. It's trying to like bounce a little bit, but nothing really standing out right now for that one. The BHAT stock's already on our list with obvious reasons. That one is still looking really nice. CYCC just popped up on my radar. It's up over 6%. It's only trading 500,000 shares, and nothing really too good about this right now. If it made a bigger pop, then I'd be more interested, or more volume traded on this one, I'd be more interested. Boeing from Kevin. So that's gonna be a little expensive for what we normally look to trade. We don't like stick to like the really cheap stocks and that's it. But for Boeing, a little pricey for our liking here. Normally $100+ or so, right? So we had our eyes on American Airlines earlier today, United Airlines, Delta, etc. So we've been following the airlines in that sense, Kevin, on YouTube. So not a bad call in the sense of like a stock that's trading a lot of volume, which we appreciate more than anything. But it's just the price. That's all. That's all. Of course, you could, do calls on it, but we don't really trade options as much in the main chat board. Of course, we have students that do, and they'll look to discuss them at times. But our main focus, at least with day trading, is on the equity side of things. Mitch on YouTube asking about the LCID trade. Just join right now. Sorry if you went over it already. No problem at all. And hey, it's at the highs. It's near that 5%, right? So, you know what? I like this trade. It's one that we are pretty familiar with inside the live trading room. We don't trade or call this out every single day, but on and off, we know this stock does trade millions and millions of shares a day. It's been within our price range for quite some time now. I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. LCID. All right, folks, I think that just about wraps it up for me here. I got one last one, and this is from my end. So a buzzer beater of sorts, but OMER, it's breaking a new high of the day right now, up over 8%, trading just over 500,000 shares, which is not a lot, and that is not a lot at all. The thing about this trade that does pique my interest is the fact that it is approaching the highs from last week, I think it was, and the week before. So just from the end of June into early July, that peak there. So that could be noteworthy. But right now, I'm going to pass on the OMER, at least for right now. All right, so for all of us on Facebook Live, YouTube, hey, just so you folks know, Fausto will be back in his saddle come Thursday morning. So you got me for one more full day, but it's been a pleasure. And if you have any other questions you have, send them over to my email address. I know that we just conducted our Traders Talk workshop earlier this morning. That's exclusive for all of us inside the live trading room. So we'll put that on the student portal. The recording of that workshop that will be on the student portal later on today. If you are interested in joining our live trading room for the remainder of this week or next, just go right down to the link on the yellow banner below to get started. But again, any questions or comments, thoughts or suggestions or feedback that you may have, send it over to josh@ctutrading.com first, if anything. I'm more than happy to talk to you, answer any questions, and work with you on the side before joining our live trading room. Alrighty, so with that, Jeff, Wendy, Kurt, Jim, Robert, John, Lita, I look forward to talking to you folks coming up at 3:30. I will be back on the mic later on this afternoon. You got me till the market close. But I know that Rich will be on the mic coming up right at 3 p.m. All right, folks, I'll talk to you all then. Take care.
A Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just